Hey guys, Hell's First here, and we're going to be talking about my favorite team I've played in the game yet. It is the Invincible Infinite Alt Geo Squad. So it consists of Ningguang, of course, 'cause she's my powerhouse bitch of the year, does so much damage. Then you've got Bennett, who is also a god, and allows for mammoth amounts of DPS with a Z and the best Q ability in the entire fucking game. We'll get into more of that in here in a second. Albedo, who is also sick because he allows you to do the craziest field on the ground that just massive geo damage non-stop. And then the key is Zhongli. His shield, after this buff, is the most godly thing in the game. You literally pop the shield and can stand there and not do a goddamn thing as something like a rune guard just fucking beats on you. It's absolutely sick. So I'm going to show you this gameplay right now, which is me dominating 12, 1, 2, and 3, and a couple of the bosses like the Pyro Regisvine and the Cryo Regisvine, which is insane how this team does it. Now against the Pyro one, you're going to notice instead of Albedo, I threw Mona in there because I wanted it to be a true one phase and not me taking it down to like almost half its life just trying to drop the shield. But nonetheless, you're going to see some of the cool shit in the background here. Now, what I do want to do is go into what artifacts I'm using with each character. So we'll start with Zhongli. So with Zhongli, I'm using the Primordial Jade Wing Spear, which not really needed for what it does. The Eagle Spear of Justice, you don't really care about that. You're never gonna hit to stack that thing up because you're not using his weapon pretty much ever. You're just leaving it there, right? So if you hit a bunch of stuff with his shield, yeah, it'll proc up some of it, get a little more damage, but you don't really care. The main point is the crit rate, right? Because we want as much crit rate as possible with him for his ult, his fucking super, that mammoth meteor that comes out of the sky. So it's a cool weapon to have. There's a new one coming in one of the upcoming release patches that is a spear that will grant you more attack with the more HP you have, which is just gonna break Zhongli. But that's a story for another day. Let's get into his artifacts. So I'm using the Noblesse Oblige, which gives you that elemental burst damage plus 20%. Because remember, you're only using Zhongli for the shield and his Q. Now, because of that, you want the two-piece Archaic Petra set as well, which is a 15% geo damage bonus just for having the two pieces. And here is what I looked for in every single one of the pieces. There's a couple guides on how to build these and what you want, and this is what I found to just do the most. Now, let's start with the headpiece here, the Royal Mask. Now, everything on him scales off HP now. After this new geo buff, everything scales off HP. Some may argue he's the best character in the game now because of the shield. But so I've got HP on the headpiece, right? Some crit damage on there, some attack, energy recharge, helps out, you know. Then for the goblet, we've got HP as well. Some people use Geo. I prefer HP, just get it even higher. Just because you're only using it for that mammoth Q ability. It's fantastic. Some more energy recharge, some attack. Now, elemental mastery and defense don't mean shit for him. So don't try boosting those. This is just how this one rolled. Then I got attack on this guy and energy recharge. And of course, another HP piece. Then we jump on to his attack plume, the plume of death. And as you can see, I rolled it with attack, crit damage, and both the HP stats, which is what you want to give him the most amount of power. This is probably the god roll piece for right here. And look at that crit damage, guys. 25.6%. I got fucking lucky with that one. All right, let's move on to the next one. Another HP piece, of course, because it's your flower. You know it's going to be. But I got crit damage, crit rate, and attack plus 15.2%. So this is how he's built. And the reason all of this helps is because everything he has is based off HP. So if we look at this shield, it does 24% damage when you immediately pop it out, right? And then 48% resonance damage. Now, on top of that, you're resonating again in Albedo's deal, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So you're just holding it to do 120% damage to everything. Shield base absorption is around 21 hit points, but then the additional shield absorption is 19.2% of your maximum hit points. Now, to make this shield the best it can be, it already lasts 20 seconds, right? And its cooldown is 12. So you want to at least have 30,000 hit points. That's going to make you pretty much a god, and you at least want it at level 6. Now, I've got them ready to go to level 7 or level 8 on both of them. I just need to get some more of these. Planet Befall, same thing. This thing scales off HP. And it deals massive geo damage and petrifies the hell out of the opponent. It's fucking cool, guys. Resonant Waves. When the Jade Shield takes damage, it will fortify, giving you 5% increased shield strength when it takes damage. And it can last up to 5 times. So it jumps another 25%. Shield damage, which is, or shield absorption. You guys know what I'm saying here. It's insane. I love it. Dominance of Earth. This is really cool because this is everything on the HP right here, right? You got the Dominus Lapidus Resonance. Whole damage is increased by 1.9% of max HP. Huge. That's why you want more HP. And then Planet Befall's damage is increased by 33%. Of max HP. Just everything is off HP. He's a god now. So I've got him at 38,000 hit points, and he's not ascended to go to 90 yet. Once he ascends there, he's going to get a big boost, and I'm going to push him all the way to the roof and get him above 40,000. He's going to be hitting like a fucking truck. Now, I don't have any of his constellations either. As you can see, not a single one, and he's still a god. So if you just have him, no constellations, don't be afraid to use him. On to the next. Albedo. This little guy. I've only got him at 70. I really need to ascend him and get him up further, which I will. But here's the sleeper on this guy, okay? The weapon. No one would think this Harbinger of Dawn would be worth a damn. Right? It's a piece of shit. It's a blue 3-star. Like, it sucks. You would never use this thing because base attack doesn't mean shit for him because you're not using it for that. But check this out. If you get it refined to rank 5, which shouldn't be hard if you're wishing, it's got Vigorous on it. When HP is above 90%, increases crit rate by 28%. Now, because this dude is only being used when he's out to drop his field and sometimes his Q ability if it's up, you're always going to be of 90% HP. So the crit rate is up by 28%, and the weapon has crit damage on it. So all that Albedo cares about is crit damage, crit rate, and defense. The rest of the stats don't mean shit to him. Obviously attack helps a little bit, but you know what I'm saying. The big guys. So let's hop into the artifacts. 2-piece Archaic Petra, again, that 15% geo damage bonus. And then Gladiator's Finale for attack plus 18%. Because like I said, attack helps a little bit, but it's not the main contributing factor. Now, I don't have his artifacts leveled up much at all. They're 12, 20, you know, they're not 1 at 16. But here's what they are. Defense on every one of them. So I got defense and defense on this guy. with attack. Nice little piece, right? Then defense, crit rate, crit damage, and attack. Hit points, no one really cares about that. But it's there. Maybe some survivability, which he's not going to need with Zhongli's shield. Then defense, crit damage, crit rate, and defense with the HP stat in there. I mean, that's a god roll sans right there for him. It is fucking awesome. And it's a Gladiator's finale piece. Nice, right? Then I've got crit rate and defense and attack on the feather. It works. It's not the best, but it works. And finally, for the flower, you've got defense and crit rate and attack on it. Elemental mastery for any of these Geo guys really isn't going to help you out. So it's just a wasted fucking stat. But it's not bad. You know, you can have it on there. And then the reason you want them all set up this way is because Solar Isotoma, right here, Blossoms deal AoE Geo damage dealt off Albedo's defense, which is huge. Also, it's considered a Geo construct, and it can only one can exist, but everything inside of it is taking damage every 2 seconds. It's fucking cool, right? And that damage is obviously scaled, the skill itself, off your attack. But then look at this. The Blossom damage is 187% based on your defense. It's fucking awesome. Same with this. Elemental burst damage is at 514%, which is all based on defense, because everything he has is. And the Fatal Blossom damage is 100.8% each. Really cool, guys. He is really sick. Then you've got Transient Blossoms generated by Abiogenesis Solar Isotoma deal 25% more damage to opponents whose HP is below 50%. This is going to happen all the time. And this field is up constantly. You're never not going to have it up, and it's constantly doing residual damage to everything around. It's fucking awesome, guys. Then you got Hominicular Nature using Rite of Progeniture Tectonic Tide increases the elemental mastery of nearby party members by 125 for 10 seconds. Worthless for this party, but you can fit them in others if you really wanted to. But we're not trying to do that. Then we've got Ning. I've made, I don't know, 10, 15 videos on Ning because she is my favorite character in the game. And for a minute there, I thought they were kind of just going to phase her out because there were other characters doing a lot of damage. Nope, this bitch got buffed up with the rest of them. Geo is king, Geo is god. This is what you fucking want. Now, with her, I've got her set up pretty goddamn nice as well. With her weapon, she's running Lost Prayer to the Sacred Winds, which is probably one of the best. This or the Skyward Atlas, whichever one you want, but I think this one. So, crit rate, of course, highest base attack possible on a weapon. And it increases your movement speed by 10%, which is awesome just for running around anywhere. But when in battle, gain an 8% elemental damage bonus every 4 seconds. Max 4 stacks. Lasts until the character falls or leaves combat. Just awesome. Because it constantly buffs the elemental damage. It's fucking sick. I love this. It's such a great weapon. Then the artifacts on her. Gladiator's Finale, Archaic Petra. Just like Albedo. However, hers are going to be a little different. Crit damage you want on the headpiece, because you want her doing as much crit damage as possible. And you want crit rate as well, and energy recharge and attack, because you want to be non-stop ulting with her. Her Q needs to be up as fast as it can. In this party, though, you're literally switching to her, dropping a shield and hitting your Q and switching off, because it's like infinite Qs for everybody in the team. It's nuts. Then the Goblet. Geo damage bonus. Now, it's only a 4-star. It's a purple. And that's because I can't find a Gladiator's 5-star to throw on there in place. But it rolled good. Attack and crit damage on it. It's a good piece. You want geo damage on the goblet, though. It's a must. Then, the Sands, another Gladiator's Finale piece, but this one is attack, which I prefer with, and then crit damage and energy recharge. So 3 stats you really care about with Ning. The Feather, I got crit rate, crit damage, and energy recharge. Defense, fuck it, don't care about it. But this is a sick piece right here. Also, on the Flower, got attack, and crit rate. Another great piece. It's just a fantastic build, guys. I love it. And with her talents, you want to keep that Star Shatter up. Try and get it to 8. Because you want the damage per gem to be around 120 to 140, right? And if you don't know, this is when she throws a bunch of shit up in the air. And you want to make sure you use 3 normal shots and then don't use a charged shot. Because her extra 3 jades that you can get around her, because you can get 3 star jades around you, will fly off with Star Shatter as well, doing even more damage. So make sure before you use the Q, you have all 3 of them floating around you. And this is what you want to work on. You want the normal and you want the Star Shatter. The Jade Screen, yeah, you can level it up. I'm kind of letting it sit for a second, although it does a shitload of damage. 323% skill damage. She hits for like 20k with it every time I throw it out. And I have 2 of her constellations. The first one, must. You have to have this constellation. It's Piercing Fragments. When a normal attack hits, it deals AoE damage. You can't not have that. Without that, Ning fucking sucks. With it, God. Ningguang is God. Because you need this. Now, another one is Shock Effect. So when your Jade Screen breaks, or shattered as they say, its cooldown will reset. It can occur once every 6 seconds. So remember, when you use Shattering or Scattering Star, or Star Shatter, fuck, I can't even speak tonight. Star Shatter. When you use Star Shatter, it consumes the shield, meaning you have another shield immediately, because that counts. Or you break it on one of the big Pyrovines or whatever the hell you want to hit it with, and it breaks immediately. You have another one to use instantaneously, and it deals a shitload of damage. I truly believe she's one of the greatest characters in the game, period. I would rate her 5-star, maybe even a 6-star character because of how incredible. Now, when she's in possession of Star Jades, so that's when you have the Jades, when you do 1, 2, or 3 of them circling around you, her charged attack doesn't consume stamina. So you literally can blast with that thing and not worry about it. And then all 3 of the Jades go with it, and all 3 of them are AoE on top of the big blast. And the big blast hits for like 11 to 15k. It's awesome. Then you've got Strategic Reserve. This is also a must. A character that passes through the Jade Screen will gain a 12% geo damage bonus for 10 seconds. Now that's anyone. Now we've got 3 geo characters on the team. If any one of them pass through that screen, they get a 12% geo damage bonus. And it's for 10 seconds. It doesn't have a cooldown. You literally can run back and forth through it with all 3 characters if you want and get the bonus. It never stops. It's amazing. And now, if she's a 6-star, she would be right next to the actual best all-around character in the game, and that's Bennett. This guy, no contest, one of the greatest characters in the entire game, and I've got him set up incredibly well. Now, weapons for him, if you want to use him as a DPS, which I suggest because he'll heal like a fucking badass anyway, you use the Festering Desire. Now, the reason you use this, 1, energy recharge. You want his Q coming back as much as possible, because that allows him and everyone else to do more damage, as well as does massive damage when you put it down, and heals everyone fast. Like, his heal is quick, and he's the only healer on this team. You don't even really need to heal because of Zhongli's shield, but he's here, and that damage increase he gives is huge. But on top of that, it's got Undying Admiration. And if you were doing this when the weapon came out in 1.2, you could have gotten it to rank 5, no problem, as part of the storyline with Albedo. but increased elemental skill damage by 32% and elemental skill crit rate by 12%. So for his E, he hits hard as fuck. I've had him hit with his E for 30-40 grand. And he's your healer. His Q does 30-40 grand to everything around him. And he's your healer. And he boosts about 800-900 attack because his talents are insane. But first, let's get into his artifacts. So with him, you want, most people say Noblesse Oblige for that 20% damage bonus with the 4-piece set when you use your Q. Fuck that. You're using him as a DPS and a healer because he can, because he's a true 6-star fucking badass. So Crimson Witch of Flames, you want the 4-piece set. Get that Pyro damage bonus plus 15%, and it increases overloaded and burning damage by 40%. Increases vaporize and melt damage by 15%. Using the elemental skill, increases the 2-piece set bonus by 50% of its starting value for 10 seconds, max of 3 stacks. So you can truly just get him hitting harder and harder and harder, because in his Q, his E hits faster. It's like a 1.5 second cooldown. It's awesome. Absolutely awesome. Then, talents on him. What I went for is his E, as much of it as you can, because he does 261% damage when he hits, and it burns the enemy, which nobody really cares about. But then Fantastic Voyage, you want this thing maxed, okay? Now the regeneration is based off his hit points. Now, if you're using him as just a pure healer in a group, and you just want as much healing as fast as possible because your group's a bunch of fucking pussies, they can't survive the slightest little fight, then yeah, go ahead and build him for HP with that Noblesse Oblige shit and some energy recharge, and you might be happy with him. He's a subpar 4-star character at that point. If you want him to be the badass 6-star character that has no problem with anything, this is what you want to do. Complete everything into attack. So the attack bonus ratio is 90% of your base attack, because this whole skill is based on bonus from Bennett's base attack. So you want to level him up as high as possible. I have him leveled to 90. Now his weapon's not there yet, but it will be soon. It's just something to use. Now Rekindle decreases Passion Overload's cooldown by 20%, which is pretty sweet, because that's what you're using a lot. And then Fear Not, when in the area of Fantastic Voyage, Passion Overload takes on the following effects. Cooldown is reduced by 50%. That's why it's every 1.5 seconds. And Bennett will not be launched by the effects of Charge Level 2. Now, if you hold the E, it does 4 slashes, and Charge Level 2 explodes you and throws you back. You don't have to worry about that as long as your Q's on the ground. Constellation-wise, I've got 3 into them. Grand Expectation is a must, because Fantastic Voyage's attack increase no longer has an HP restriction, which means they get it whether they're under or over that 70%, which is amazing, and it gains an additional 20% of Bennett's base attack. Awesome. And then when Bennett's HP falls below 70%, his energy recharge is increased by 30%. And then Unstoppable Fervor, you want this because it upgrades Passion Overload by 3, giving you the ability to hit even harder. So there's the 4-man team. You're seeing here just how much damage it can do. It is just wrecking everything I put at it. Literally, the Abyss floor 12 didn't even stand a chance against it. I was ending every single round without even knowing I was ending it. It's just... That's how good of a team it is. You're not even paying attention. You're just using Q after Q after Q after Q. I can't even say it fast enough. It's a fucking tongue twister, because you literally are nonstop, infinite, invincible, badass Geo mass buffing slaughterhouse of a fucking team. So we're going to get into the stats on every character backwards from the order we just did coming into him. We're going to start with Bennett. He's got 43.1% crit rate. Now remember, his weapon, when he uses E, that elemental skill, gets a 12% boost, so he's really at 55% with that, and then 100.5% crit damage. Got the energy recharge above 175, which is what you want with him, so when you literally hit 3 times with a Z and you get it back. Now here's the base attack, 666. The mark of the fucking badass, because Bennett is a fucking badass. So that is what you're getting your buff off of. So I have 90% of that plus the 20%. So I'm getting 110% of that for any character standing in that field. It's a massive boost to DPS. So there's the stats on Bennett. So let's go to Ningguang. So with Ning, I've got her 58.9% crit rate, but 157.4% crit damage. She hits fucking hard. Like super fucking hard. And I got her geo damage up there. You know, it's sitting at 67.8, but with her book in the middle of battle, if I keep her out for 12 seconds, she's just going to do mammoth more damage, because that's going to jump up to like 88%. So there's Ningguang. Albedo, I've got him, like I told you, his artifacts aren't there yet, but everything you want is going to that defense stat. Got him at a 55.2% crit rate and 114.5% crit damage. Energy recharge isn't that high. I don't give a shit about energy recharge with this guy. But I do want crit rate, crit damage, and defense, and that's what he's based off. Then we've got Zhongli, man of the hour. Badass character. Like I said, most people say he might be the new best character in the game. I'm on the fence still, because I do think Bennett and Ningguang are both fucking insanely amazing as well. And Albedo, I mean, there isn't a single character on the team that I can't say is fucking amazing. But let's jump into his. I've got him at 29.8% crit rate, not the highest. I really kind of want to get that up for him, but 96.6% crit damage, and his big number that matters is that max HP. And as you can see, the artifacts are adding 25,266 hit points to him, which is awesome. So this is the team. It's fucking incredible, and I love it. I really appreciate you guys taking the time tonight to watch my video, listen to me bullshit about these characters. I hope you try the team out. Let me know what you think of it. It fucking dominates in every way, shape, and form. There isn't a single thing in the game that I found yet that it ever has a problem with. But best team. Invincible, right? Can't get hurt with anyone. Then you've got nonstop, complete massive damage residually without you doing anything. Then you've got huge DPS, as well as insane heals, massive buffing. It's got everything, 100% of everything. So if you guys like the video, please support me. Give me a like and subscribe for the video, and turn on that bell for notifications if you want to see more of what I think about the game. I love it. I'm glad you guys are here to watch. And, as always, until next time, ta-ta.